I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, ladies. How to add rest into your busy entrepreneurial life as a female entrepreneur. This isn't an easy thing to do. Actually, I still find myself falling back into that common to-do list over and over again. But really what we discovered inside of the female business cycle is that when we add rest, we are at our best. And this is so important. So I'm going to share with you just 3 simple ways that you can add rest into your busy life. Now, it's not going to be easy to implement, but these are easy things to do. And that first off, we're going to start with number 1. The first thing you have to recognize as a female when you tag into the female business cycle and you understand your flow and how best you work and you're conserving your energy and you're creating energy, you have to understand where you're at in your cycle. So as we've talked about before in previous blog posts and in videos, we've talked about the female business plan. We've talked about understanding your cycle. We've talked about where are your phases that makes the most sense and what you should be doing during those cycles, not only for your overall health, but for your business, what the foods you eat, all of that. So we've covered quite a bit of information. The first thing you have to understand is your menstrual cycle, or your menstrual phase, actually. The phase that you're in for your menstrual is your downtime. This is the most critical moment out of your 28-day cycle where you really want to look at, okay, what happened this month? What didn't work? You're going to use this time to evaluate, take some time to breathe. So important to do this because often we overlook the rest element as a female entrepreneur because we're in such a cyclical cycle of, all right, I have 24 hours, I'm in the circadian rhythm, I've got to get everything done day to day. And you just have this massive to-do list and checklist. And it's burning us out. It burnt me out completely. And to get back into the business of being an entrepreneur again really had me go, okay, what needs to change for me? And when I looked around looking for what needs to change for women to successfully build businesses, stay in the business, and create that millionaire income, it looks like, okay, honoring that 28-day cycle, that infradian rhythm, not just the circadian rhythm that we've been taught is the primary way of running business. Yes, it is. It works really well if you're a guy. Doesn't work really great unless you're as a female, because we run on those 2 clocks. You run on the infradian rhythm, which is our primary, inside of our circadian rhythm, which is the 24-hour clock. So the first thing to know is where are you in your phases, right? So knowing that your menstrual phase is the time for you to slow down, create days of rest, use that time to veg out and just recharge your battery. That is such a critical piece as a female entrepreneur, and we're not doing enough of that. So you want to understand the 4 phases of your cycle for your female business, which phase you're in, where you're going to be putting your head down, when you're going to be out exploring, when you're going to be thinking, creating plans, projects. This is a critical piece to the puzzle of being a female entrepreneur, and it's not often enough talked about, to be honest. We're hearing whispers of it just now in a lot of the media and our marketing, but really it's time to change this conversation and honor our hormonal cycle as women as we're building our business. The second thing you want to look at for adding rest into your day, now this is going to sound crazy, but honestly, when they started talking about how different the male and female brain are in terms of connectivity, neuroscience, how they interact, what is one of our core points and how we use our brain, women actually, we have a larger cortex, or not a cortex, we have a larger part of our brain that really focuses on our decision making. And we make so many decisions every single day, like make mass amounts of decisions, women, not only for ourselves, but for the people around us, for our children. If we're caregivers, we're making decisions every single day. So decision fatigue is a real thing. What I discovered, which I thought was really interesting, is that when we're in business as entrepreneurs, we typically have projects that we're working on throughout our day, throughout our week, and throughout our month, and even throughout the year, right? And what was interesting is that we talk about typically running 45 minutes, taking running 45 minutes, taking 10, 15 minutes off. And that's typically what they talk about is the productivity cycle, right? Well, what I found interesting in doing more and more research is that women actually need a longer time period between their thinking processes. So like from moving from one project to the other, we actually need a 20-minute time frame. That's correct. We actually need 20 minutes. So when you're moving from, like, say, a blogging task or a marketing task to a client task, you want to actually schedule in 20 minutes of rest. You want to take that time to recharge your brain, get it to settle, do a couple of deep breaths. You really want to take that time to nurture yourself. So you're going to be like, how do I keep taking these 20-minute breaks between projects? This is where you're going to learn how to set this up within your day, right? Understand when you're making big switches in project information to take that time to give yourself rest throughout the day. We have been so trained to do business in a morning, afternoon, evening phrase. We know when our lunches are scheduled, dinners are scheduled, and we're all inside of that conversation. But really, I think for women, when we start looking at what's the time frame I need to shift gears into the next project. So an example of this is I'm a teacher. So I am working with teaching culinary also as I build the business for Truth Bomb Academy. And what I recognize is that when I'm going from teaching my students and I want to come back home and I need to revamp, I need that downtime. I actually need that 20 minutes of rest to get my mind just to relax as I step into that next project, right? So super critical, and vice versa. If I'm in my business prior to going into class, I really have to set that time aside and say, I need this downtime as I plan for what's next. So really critical that you're looking at the different ways in which you transition and honoring that 20-minute time period. The third thing that really is important is learning how to schedule time to rest. We have one of our members inside Truth Bomb Academy. She's a mom of 3, a wife, a homeschooler. She runs her own business also. She's a consultant. She helps build out processes and systems for large companies. And what I found was really interesting is that when she joined us to learn how to expand and grow her business and scale it to the next level, we actually introduced and she found a way to start incorporating 20-minute naps into her day. And this became a game changer for her. She says, I'm better with my kids, I'm better for my husband, my productivity goes up. So learning how to create those moments in your day is super important. And it's going to be through a trial and error. To be honest, you're going to try some things, test some things, and just see what happens. But this is the process that all of us women are going through as we're in this new conversation around what is the female business cycle, how long it is as opposed to how short day-to-day repetitious it is. The repetition of the constant showing up isn't serving us, because when we show up as women, as we show up within our female business cycle, we have a different type of consistency that literally runs through 28 days, not just within a 24-hour time period. So we've got lots to talk about on this one, but really adding that rest in. The 3 ways I talked about was basically know your rhythm, understand that during that menstrual phase of your cycle, this is a part of your time where you really want to decompress and take some time to rest. You want to recharge that battery. You want to look at taking 20-minute time intervals between your big projects so that your brain has time to rest, relax, reset for that next project. You also want to look at how are you scheduling time in your day to rest, whether it's just taking a 5-minute breathing exercise, whether it's meditation, whether it's going outside, going for a walk. There's a lot of great articles out there that talk about self-help and doing activities, yoga, all these different things. Look to make sure you're scheduling time for yourself. The 4th thing I want to add to you is that we incorporate and teach you how to do this inside Truth Bomb Academy. For years, there's never been a training like this that we built in here, because we show you how to incorporate that 28-day cycle into your business planning, into your marketing, into your money. This is a whole new conversation, but I love it because you as female entrepreneurs are helping craft this conversation also. As we've set the foundation for it, every single one of you that comes in adds a little nuance to it and creates it and makes it your own. And that's the power of being a female entrepreneur, is our creativity. We're literally tapping back into our creativity, finding our flow. We're so unique as women, yet so connected as sisters in business, that when we start talking to each other about what we're dealing with and how we're feeling, and having those real conversations, so many things change for us as female entrepreneurs, and success happens naturally. Instead of being forced, instead of feeling like you're left behind, instead of feeling like you're not good enough, you start owning your confidence and you start owning what your contribution is to the world. And that's the power of Truth Bomb Academy. So if you're ready as a female entrepreneur to take your business to the next level, if you're ready to say, hey, I'm done with the traditional, I want to try a new female way of building my business that honors me, my energy, my feelings, my emotions, then I invite you to enroll right now into Truth Bomb Academy. Doors are open. We are excited to have you join us. You're going to go through our premier training course, Unlocking My Millions. And through that, we're going to take you through 9 series of workshops where you're going to get the hand holding you need to really define, honor, and learn your business and honor that cycle that works best for you. So I can't wait to see you inside Truth Bomb Academy. I hope you enjoyed today's training. And if you've got any comments to share around, what are some ways that you rest? What are some ways that you're discovering? And were there any ahas for you inside this training? Love to know more, so go ahead and comment down below. I'd love to hear from our audience, and we'll see you hopefully inside the Truth Bomb Academy. Thanks for joining me.